following digital training aid is of the GEnx 1B PS3 pressure sense tube inspection procedure. See the Aircraft Maintenance Manual, Chapter 732100 for the written procedure. This digital training aid gives the technician visual help in performing this task. On the bottom of the EEC, and using soft jaw connector pliers, remove the EEC connectors as necessary to access the EEC B-nut labeled PS3. Disconnect the PS3 labeled B-nut from the EEC transducer fitting. Locate the PS3 line B-nut connection at 6 o'clock of the fan stator on the forward side of the lower bifurcation. Remove the clamp on the PS3 line on the bracket forward of the B-nut. Cut and remove the PS3 B-nut safety cable and disconnect the B-nut. Move the PS3 line B-nut to the side so it does not blow directly into the aft part of the line. Caution: do not blow air or nitrogen gas through the sensing lines to the Electronic Engine Control Unit, EEC. Unwanted materials can cause contamination and damage to the EEC. At the EEC end of the PS3 pressure sense tube, blow clean air at 100 psi or 689.5 kPa toward the disconnected B-nut for a minimum of 1 minute. Next, locate the B-nut on the right side of the engine that attaches the PS3 pressure sense tube to the combustor case. Cut and remove the PS3 B-nut safety cable and disconnect the B-nut. Follow the PS3 pressure sense tube forward to the next B-nut connection. Cut and remove the PS3 B-nut safety cable and disconnect the B-nut. Remove the clamp on the PS3 pressure sense tube between these two B-nuts. Remove this section of the PS3 pressure sense tube from the engine. Position the air nozzle in the PS3 line and blow clean air at 100 psi or 689.5 kPa forward toward the B-nut disconnected at the front of the lower bifurcation for a minimum of 1 minute. Install the clamp on the PS3 tube between the two B-nuts. Tighten, torque, and safety wire the forward B-nut. Leave the PS3 pressure sense tube disconnected at the combustor case at this time. Locate the PS3 pressure sense tube disconnected B-nut at 6 o'clock of the fan stator on the forward side of the lower bifurcation. Start the PS3 pressure sense tube B-nut by hand. Install the clamp on the PS3 line on the bracket forward of the B-nut. Tighten, torque, and safety wire the B-nut. Now perform the high-pressure leak test of the PS3 pressure sense tube shown in the AMM Chapter 720005 of the fan stator installation procedure. Caution: Do not blow air or nitrogen gas through the sensing lines to the Electronic Engine Control Unit, EEC. Unwanted materials can cause contamination and damage to the EEC. Install a plug into the PS3 tube B-nut at the combustor. Tighten the plug into the PS3 B-nut at the combustor. At the EEC end of the PS3 pressure sense tube, blow clean air at 100 psi, 689.5 kPa, toward the combustor plugged B-nut for a minimum of 1 minute. Make sure that the gas flows freely from the PS3 weep hole in the lower bifurcation. You can clear the weep hole with a piece of safety wire. Use leak detector or a mixture of liquid soap and water to examine the PS3 tube connections for leaks. Start the PS3 tube B-nut onto the EEC by hand. Tighten, torque, and safety wire the B-nut. Reconnect and tighten with soft jaw pliers any connectors to the EEC that were removed. Remove the plug in the PS3 tube B-nut at the combustor and start the B-nut onto the combustor fitting by hand. Tighten, torque, and safety wire the B-nut. This concludes the GEnx 1B PS3 pressure sense tube inspection procedure demonstration.